Metatopia.
And Luca's here
You're
with us this
here.
time.
This
Yeah,
time.
I
Yeah.
actually showed up for once.
That's
For
right.
only one day, but
Yeah, it's something.
It's okay. It's something.
yeah, here we are. This is the convention/event or whatever. This is different than a convention.
It's gonna be a big
But
one, right?
we were gonna go to this last year, but stuff came up, so now unfinished business, getting finished.
Draco just kind of went to explore it last year.
Yes, she went ahead to see what's up with it, so we have an idea.
Which is funny that we're talking about me in the third person.
Yes, well, you're the third person here.
Yep.
He's second, I'm first. Ha.
Is that right?
Get that. Get that. All right, guys. So
It's a
yeah,
good start.
well, like usual, we'll flip this on whenever it's appropriate. We got 3 play tests of real gamers, real big time people are going to be checking the game out, 2 hours at a time for 3 days in a row. So we're going to get some big opinions. It's make or break time. I'm just going to snap my fingers and it'll be some other point in time. All right?
Yeah. It's this. You're going to be sluggish before your playtest.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
It's hours from now.
Hours.
That's hours from now, Draco. What are you talking about?
Look at this really awesome panel guide right here.
Yep.
Look at that mask. It's so good.
It was drawn in a second.
Yeah, it was drawn in a second, and he's just been enjoying chilling.
I've been chilling
Yep.
quite comfortably.
Me too. We were just hashing out some like last minute errors that were in the card, so making sure that everything is as up to date as possible.
Yes. Originally, I was going to go to like every single panel, but then I realized
You'd get brain dead
I'd get brain dead.
Yeah.
And my playtest is at night at 10 o'clock, so
until midnight.
yes, so probably not a good idea.
Nah, we'll see how things go later on, right?
Indeed.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
So yeah, first panel we went to. We went all together, and it was making good financial decisions for games. It's something a lot of people don't really realize how dangerous it can get. You could be like, oh, I'm going to do this thing, and you don't realize how much it costs. And this was a mistake we almost made last year, where we almost dove headfirst in without even considering this. So that's why I said back then when I made that update video, when it feels like I did that like 10 years ago, but you gotta sometimes slow down and really consider your options, because you could be digging a hole for yourself that is going to be hard to get back out. So this panel we went to was a lot of reminders of what could have been if we did not slow down. We could have had, like, if we were going to do a whole bunch of hard copies of things, we would have had a huge warehouse full of stuff that a lot of people may not buy. There's probably a few of you who would, but like overall, you know, if you get too much stuff, then it's like you put all this money in and it just sits there. What are you gonna do with it? And plus the costs of the warehouse and all this other stuff gets factored in. So you got to be careful. You have to be careful. You have to come up with a strategy. Have like a good job maybe to like give yourself a little bit of finances, because unfortunately, yeah, it does come out of pocket at first. Anybody who's looking into doing this sort of thing comes out of pocket first. So it was mostly just a reminder. And one major thing I took away from coming out of there: publisher and designer are not the same thing. So when you're, I know I have a number of fellow game designers who watch me sometimes, and if you didn't already know that, take that into account as well. If you want to design your game, you'll probably want somebody else to handle publishing for you, who can do all the dry stuff, all the more serious stuff, so that you yourself can keep working by yourself or with other people and create the game that you want to create. So.
Yeah, that's inclusive of talking to manufacturers. There was a good reminder, like talking about the import cost, the shipping cost, the taxes.
There's a lot that goes into it.
And like your manufacturer might be foreign, so like consider like you may want to hire somebody who's bilingual that can talk to them.
That could be for the best.
Yeah, that was like, yeah, no, I agree. That panel, huge reminder of what we could have went into.
Mm-hmm. Huge reminder, which is just, this being here is weird, because we were like, oh, Metatopia this, Metatopia that for like the whole year, and we almost went here last year, but like I said earlier, we ended up not. So it's pretty weird how it's come full circle now. and here we are. The game is new and improved. It's actually really fun to play. I feel like there's actually, you know, there's like a selling point to it, and like, you know, everybody seems to be enjoying it. So
Yeah. Thank you, Brains.
That would be me.
this is the guy you can thank
Yep.
for a more fun
designer
game.
guy.
Yeah, the designing guy who made it much more strategic and fun and have more player interaction. And what?
I hope everyone enjoys it.
Yeah.
We got our first guy that I don't really even know at all who's interested in playing tonight. And to me, from my perspective, it's like, oh wow, this is like the first person who's like, I'm looking forward to trying that game out. Who are you?
Yeah.
That's good.
So first thing, I'm gonna spend 2 gold to play Falcon Explorer, which there's some keywords on the cards, but they all say what they do. So stealth is when a character attacks. I choose a character. It still has the word sneak in it, but it should say stealth. So if you see a character that has stealth, basically when they attack a character, I choose a character that doesn't have stealth and they can't block.
Okay,
A lot of
so-
card games do the same kind of concept, so it's a safe keyword to use. Reclaim is whenever this character dies, I draw a card. So once it leaves play, I basically replace it.
Okay. Nothing else in reaction to that.
Okay, so actually broke down the timing. I spent half of the workday doing this.
Oh wow.
Okay, so blockers, tactics, resolution. So we go with conquering first, which is if you won an unblocked conflict, you get the Aegis, which you go there.
Yeah.
And since I played Flame Wall, he ran into a Flame Wall and he dies. I take this off.
I'll use a liquid reaction to that, so I get to keep it.
Oh, look at that. Okay, yes,
Yeah.
smart. Okay, so basically he's gone.
Okay.
I absorbed his Aegis. Half the board's gone, so I guess that wasn't so bad. We're gonna do a ranged one. This time I'm going to use stealth because I remember I have it. He's gonna attack for 1 ranged.
Okay.
Stealthing this guy so he can't block.
Okay.
Because he doesn't have stealth, right?
Right.
So you can choose another character to block, but because they have the dashes, they
Yeah, they
can't.
can't block. Okay.
Which means you might have to ambush something, or you don't, unless you have something. Oh, actually, I have to declare who I'm attacking. I guess I'll go after the face-up one again.
Okay.
There's like a few steps to go through, but once you have them down, it's like, okay, just this.
Out of curiosity, if you added a card to a card that can't do an action, like let's say I added a range plus to him, would he then be able to do range stuff, or is it not 0? It's you can't do that at all.
The reason why it's a 0 means you can do that.
Okay.
A dash means they can't even.
Okay, so there is a difference
it's just
between 0
flat out
and dash. Okay.
The thing is, there are 1 or 2 cards that will change a dash into an attack, but it says it like set the attack or or change their
It'll
base stat.
specify it.
It'll specify it.
basically. Okay.
So what was the rule again? I can only, once I play the creatures, I can only play cards around them that have an arrow pointing to them, or they only.
That they're pointing to, basically. So with Lurker, he's got only 1 up arrow,
Okay.
so you can only, if you're gonna give something to his squad, then you can only play it here.
Think of all these spaces as being locked from the start. If an arrow is pointing to it, it becomes unlocked. You can play
So
cards on it.
I can't play something here because there's no arrow.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Interesting. I like that. Are there any points where it matters which they're lined up with on the opponent's side?
Not in the base mechanics of the game, but certain card effects might care.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also,
So I
this
played
isn't
that.
this isn't pointing down, so you can't
Oh,
play
so we
Torch
can
like
like,
that.
okay. So just because she's pointing up, it doesn't help.
Yep.
All right. So in that case, we'll go with this down here. Is her ability? How many abilities am I gonna have to keep track of when I play them? Like right away.
You mean like on play abilities?
Yeah.
A fair amount. Usually the support creatures I think that have on play abilities, but
No fighting creatures do.
yeah, there's all different kinds of triggers. So.
Yeah, there's every effect in the game has a condition, which is the words in the parentheses, which means that's what you have to do in order to use the effect, which would be written down below. Then we'll put down Happy Harpy and the Enhancement Wings. Enhancement Wings effect on play. If I play it for a fighting wind creature, I get to draw 1 card.
game's a lot faster when you know what cards do.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah. Then I think I'm also.
If you see a card in your deck called Triton of Neptune, it basically does the same thing.
Yep. All the affinities, to be
Water
fair,
version.
they all have one of these that draws them one more card.
Okay.
Also put down a Wing Defender. He's rank 2, so I pay 2 for him. And then we'll go on to the battle phase. So I'll go over how battle works again. Every fighting creature or rogue creature that doesn't have a rest counter on it is allowed to declare an attack on something. So for me, when I attack, I can attack either this fighting creature or this fighting creature right now.
Okay.
So I'm gonna have, let's see now, Wing Defender is going to attack your Lurker of the Deep. So then we go on to the, yep. So then we go on to the eighth step of the battle.
In which there's none for this guy.
Right. You either aid with cards in his squad, or you can aid with support from your hand as a surprise tactic.
So what, they basically just go, oh, you can drop them into play.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
First, the attacker does their aid step first.
Okay.
So I have to anticipate, are you going to play support? I'm not quite sure. How crucial is this attack?
Yep.
And then is aid step 2, where the opponent who's getting attacked decides if they want to aid or not.
Yeah, it's not a back and forth. The attacker has to commit first, so they have to kind of predict what the opponent's going to do, and then the defender defends with whatever they want after that.
Okay.
Yep.
So basically what's going on in my mind is I'm attacking my 70 or 3. In order for this to be saved, you'd have to drop 3 supports, since if you were even, I still lead you. So I'm just going to say no aid during my aid step, and then it moves on to your aid step.
You're attacking for what, 7?
7 power.
Yeah.
That works.
I'm going to aid with Happy Harpy, which just got +2. So that adds 2 to Snadra, going up to 6.
Okay.
And I could also play one from hand. So I'll play Vortex Maiden, which will add another 2 to Snadra. And that'll make it 8 total.
This is a 7 strength goldfish. Just like to point out how big that goldfish is.
Big goldfish.
Big goldfish, yep.
It's magical.
So my 8 steps done.
And what's your
So
total?
my total is 8.
Yep.
Alright, so I'm going to drop a penguin.
Yep.
I'm liking that name. So we've got a +2 if I use him up, right?
Yep.
Yep.
And he doesn't do anything else besides that. One plate. Okay, so remove a flood token and generate a flood token on an empty space adjacent to an opposing squad. Can I do that without removing one?
No, you
I have
be
to
able
remove one to do it?
one.
Okay,
Yep.
so he just moves one.
Experience with how the day's been going. We're
Pretty-
rank 2?
Yeah, we're ranked. Look at us. We're ranked 2 business now. We graduated
Look
from
at me lounging here.
and now
Yeah.
we got comfy chairs. We're moving up in the world, you know. That's what happens when you go to Metatopia, guys. But yeah, in all seriousness, went to 2 panels, got some useful information, and then we had our first unofficial playtest, I guess it was, because the floor was kind of open, with another fellow game designer who really knows his stuff.
A card gamer, too.
Yes, it was Legion. So shout out to Raymond and his game Legion. Really cool stuff. And he tried our game out in return, and he really enjoyed it and gave us some really nice feedback that we may take into consideration.
Something that all 3 of us agreed on was his critique on how many card effects are in the support creatures with on-play effects.
Yeah, more effects that can go off more easily, I guess, essentially. Like maybe more on-play effects, which could warrant people to do the bounce rule way more often, because that doesn't happen too often either. Because it's like, ooh, a win plate effect, I could reuse it, so I'm going to pay that magic and bounce all my stuff to my hand and do it again.
Yeah.
I'll snap my fingers, and it's another point in time.
It's another fellow supporter at another con. That's awesome. Hi. Hey, look. Look at this guy. Our fellow supporters. I love it. Fellow support and the fighting creature. It's our squad. Get it?
Oh, great. We're making this joke again.
Yeah.
All right.
Slang.
I'm Destiny Dragon, and this is Guardian. This is.
Well, I'm the Happy Harpy, okay?
You are Happy Harpy for sure. I don't know what she is.
You don't know what she is?
Yeah, what's she?
What is she? What do you think?
I can't think of anything.
You can't think of one? Yeah. What about this guy?
Flying pig, right?
He wants to be his own squad. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm basics are ironed out. We're just looking for balance right now. Generally, when people think of it, whether they like how it's played and the design of the effects and things like that. You have a choice of 4 different affinities. We have earth, wind, fire, and water. The earth deck likes to generate slap tokens, which power up their rangers, whether it be your turn or opponent's turn, based on where you put the tokens. The wind deck likes to just generally move cards around the board, whether it's disrupting the opponent's board or it's fixing your formations. Fire is full-on aggressive in your face, hitting people with big numbers, and water is all about control. It likes to block out certain spaces and I think going second would be
I shall take water, which I was going to take regardless, unless you take it.
So he's got 3 targets that he can attack. So this is good before 5.
Plus 2.
Yeah.
Giant square.
And so when I exhaust these, do I exhaust them, like, would it cut it off? Like if I use these two?
If you rest them, it won't mess your
mess
squad
up
up.
the- oh,
Yeah, it won't mess the chain
So
up.
you can do 4, 6, 8, 10, 12.
The tricky thing is if you do swing with literally everything, then he knows you can't defend, because if he swings at this, you can, on your 8-step, block, or not block, but aid with these to give you a little extra power.
Yes, I should spend all 3 to bring out Scar the Veteran
Oh,
Shark.
that's your boss creature.
Wow.
Scar the Veteran Shark with a
That
giant
was one of
sword.
your reserve
Yep.
creatures?
No, I just drew them. I didn't even get to the reserve ones yet.
I think,
We're gonna put the glass sword there.
yeah.
Oh no.
Oh, it's over.
It is.
We're gonna put 8. Oh. I think it's. So I'll put 8 or both. At the end of the turn, I'll gain a magic point.
Yep.
If and
Whoever's turn it is.
Yeah,
they
that
get
does
magic.
apply to both players.
it does apply.
Yep.
Once during a player's end phase. All right. Doesn't matter. And I'll put turtle here.
Oh, nice.
Meh. All right.
still have
Then you'll have a
attacker,
big
though.
beefy shark, I guess.
Let's see. What can I do?
I know what you can do.
Oh, man.
Well, oh, and attacking these doesn't do anything over there.
That's right.
And basically, use the sword and it's over. Oh, you're not doing the sword yet? Oh, that'll be part of the attack,
That's
right?
part of it,
yeah.
right?
Okay.
Yeah, on attack, the glass sword activates if you want to use it.
On attack. So yeah. So I'll do that.
You get to
I guess
slash.
put that, even though we know it's gonna
Okay.
get
And
destroyed.
which one are you-
Destroying that, right? The same thing as before.
Oh my god.
Smash that. So now he can't support. So he.
Yeah, unless he had surprise.
So I'm done
support in his
declaring. I'm
hand.
done declaring additions, and then I guess if he had something in hand to play, he could do it now.
could,
But
yeah, he
do you
could
even have?
now.
Do you have a hand?
Regency isn't a word that's in your vocabulary.
No, it just
right.
clearly isn't. Doesn't
Something
exist.
about these hallways and, this week, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Well, this one's not,
As bad.
creepy or whatever, or eerie, lonely. It feels like you're the only humans left on the planet.
So, yeah, we finally came to the end of day 1. What'd you
Yeah,
think?
day 1 is done.
Yep.
Day 1 is done. A lot of useful information and feedback. We're pretty late in development of the game right now, but I think we can incorporate some of the things we learned today. Don't change things when you get one person who says a thing.
Exactly.
Otherwise, you will never progress.
Never progress. You just take into consideration things that are changeable that without changing the overall look.
Yes. Yeah. If something comes up a lot, it's a problem.
Yeah.
Like I want to say 3 times.
Like text size, for instance,
Yeah,
was a
that's
big one.
Yeah,
That's
that was a common.
all year we've been battling that one.
Yeah.
All year. So we won't have Taitu here tomorrow, unfortunately.
Yeah, this is my only day.
But Draco and I will be here for the rest of the weekend. probably, I don't know. It's probably freezing out.
I'm sure that single hood will protect you.
Oh yes, I will be 10 degrees warmer just by putting my hood on. You know what? Whatever little bit helps.